Call to order the regular meeting of the Gurnee Village Board of October 6, 2025. Roll call, please.
Garner. O'Brien.
Present.
Thomas.
Present.
Thorstensen.
Here.
Woodside. Ross.
Here.
4 present. 2 absent.
All stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We start our meetings these days with public comment. Anybody that would like to make a comment about any agenda item that's currently on our agenda tonight, you may step to the microphone and state your name. There being none, we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Baume, second by Trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
4 aye.
All right, Pat.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the September 22nd, 2025 meeting. Item number 2, approval of Engineering Division recommendation to award the Almond Road pedestrian crossing rectangular rapid flashing beacons project to the low bidder, PowerLink Electric, at a cost of $29,143.56. Item number 3, approval of Engineering Division recommendation to award the fiscal year 25-26 miscellaneous drainage projects to the low bidder, Campanella & Sons, Inc., at a cost of $99,665. Item number 4, approval of payroll for period ending September 19, 2025, in the amount of $1,122,912.17. Item number 5, approval of bills for period ending October 6, 2025, in the amount of $2,179,700.46.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Ross, second by Trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
4 aye.
Motion carries. No petitions and communications, no reports, no old business. On to new business. Item number 1. Approval of Gurnee Arts Commission appointments as recommended by myself, and I will go through these names and then I'll ask everybody to come on up and we'll get a group photo. And if there's something that wants to be said about, Matt, if there's something that wants to be said about the Art Commission, the answer is no. We will go from there just for a good picture. But really appreciate the turnout, and I can just say that the Arts Commission, though I am not an artist, I really appreciate that we have artists, and that can fill the void that we have, I think, in the village of Gurnee, where I think we do have some really awesome artists that I've seen through the schools, but outside of that, it seems to have been somewhat limited. So I really appreciate the efforts already that have been made, the leadership that's with the Arts Commission, and for the really robust turnout. Sometimes some things that I cook up in my head don't always turn out as well as this, and this has gone well beyond. So I really appreciate your efforts in being a part of this group, and I look forward to your artistic endeavors in all areas. That it just seems like it's a wide and broad range of interests that will be interested to see how the leaders pulling them all together. So we'll see how that goes. So let me just read the appointments, and then we'll just meet down here up front to recognize everybody. So the co-chair with term expiring 4/30/28 is Lynn Grandstrom. Second co-chair, term expiring 4/30/28 is Beth Keslinky. Is that all right? Okay. Member term expiring 4/30/28 is April Collette. Member term expiring 4/30/28 is Roger Eaton. Member term expiring 4/30/28 is Kirsten Saunders. Member term expiring 4/30/28 Fiona Tranter. Member term expiring 4/30/27 Ron Arden. Member term expiring 4/30/27 Angela Baldwin. Member term expiring 4/30/27 Randy Blazer. Member term expiring 4/30/27 Leigh Mangarin. Good. All right. Member term expiring Janelle Rominski. and member term expiring 4/30/27, Jay Stuckwich. So if each of the people that I just have called out, I'll do the motion, okay. We'll do the motion actually, and sorry about that. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee O'Brien, second by trustee Ross. Roll call, please.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right, come on down now. Sorry for that false start. So before the picture, what I'd like to do is if you could say your name and then the area of interest that you have, whether it's photography, painting, whatever's the main area of interest. So if I could just start on this end.
Sure. My name is Roger Eaton. My interest is pretty broad with music. I'm a music performance major in college. I come from a musical family and most recently spent 30-plus years with the Yamaha Music Group. So, thanks.
April Collette, performing arts, specifically theater and dance.
Thank you.
Janelle Rominsky, I'm a photographer and specialize in events, portraits, and rock stars.
Angela Baldwin, performing arts, specifically theater.
I'm Layman Guerin. I do a lot of arts. I do performing arts, choir, theater, and I also do painting and digital drawing.
Ron Arden, performing arts, orchestral conducting, playing viola and singing, and specializing in events.
Beth Kesslink, art teacher, also in dance and drama and all of the arts, so yeah.
Kirsten Saunders, pottery and mosaics.
Jay Stuckwish, traditional sculpture and cartoon and animation.
Fiona Tranter, fiber arts such as quilting, knitting, making clothes, anything that you can use fabric for, putting it together.
Randy Blazer, creative writing, literature.
So I wasn't lying when I said it's a broad cross-section, right? I mean, I don't think you can get any broader than that. So thank you. So why don't you want to get a photograph? Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. I do want to recognize Matt. I think that he's really has been the glue for this coming through and the connection to Village Hall. So thank you for all your hard work on this. It shows. So thanks, Matt. On to item 2, approval of ordinance 2025-68, granting a zoning map amendment pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 1500 Tri-State Parkway, pin 0716100147. Pat?
Sure. So I had a memo from our Community Development Director, David Ziegler, on this. Fiduciary Real Estate Development is looking to rezone the existing 16.5-acre parcel across from Restaurant Depot from O2 to R6 multifamily district. Also, the next item on the agenda is related. They're requesting a variation to reduce the front yard setback requirement from 30 feet to 20 feet to accommodate the Seasons at Gurnee. This is a 120-unit residential development housed in 6 separate buildings, so 20 units per building. It is market rate multifamily development along Tri-State Parkway. Had a couple informals in front of the Planning and Zoning Board, and then was back before them on September 17th for their formal request on the rezoning and the variation. Dave has got some visuals of the development. I'll run through it quick here. So 120 units, 61 bedrooms, 62 bedrooms. There's going to be a pool and a clubhouse on site. As far as the parking, according to the code requirements, are 210 total stalls. They're proposing 230, so they meet that. Again, meets all the other standards as far as the R6 district. David's got the site plan up on here with some of the highlights of that. Again, it's a skinny, long site with a lot of wetlands on it, so that leads into the next request on the agenda as far as the variation to reduce that setback along Tri-State Parkway from 30 feet to 20 feet. So that's kind of the project in a nutshell. If the petitioners here,
Yes.
if there's anything they want to add to that.
Hi, I'm Tony DeRosa with Fiduciary Real Estate Development, and you gave a great overview and be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, David, did you want to do more on that, or what did you want to do?
Yes, so they've been in front of the Planning and Zoning Board. Planning and Zoning Board unanimously recommended it for approval, both on the rezoning as well as the variance. The variance, typical front yard setback along for R6 zoning district is 30 feet. At the north end of the site, you can see because of the wetlands and the stormwater detention, it's a little bit width constrained. So the north end of the site, they are requesting a 20-foot front yard setback for this building, and then pretty much just for the north half of this building would be the only two residential structures that would be affected. The clubhouse here in the center would not be. So that's the basic request. 6 20-unit buildings, you can kind of get a feel as to what they are proposing. 8 of the units in each of the 20-unit buildings will have a single-car garage associated with it to offer a nice little amenity for a portion of the parking requirements on site. So it's proposed as a straight R6 multifamily residential development.
All right, thanks. I'll do a motion, and then if there's some questions after we go through that process initially before we vote. So is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Thorstensen. Any discussion or questions? I'll start to my left. Balmas?
Well, my only concern, and I trust David, that's a lot of wetlands there, so that would have been my major concern.
Yeah, so the wetlands, the existing stormwater detention pond that was built, you can see it kind of right behind the majority of it, that was for the Rohrman car dealerships. That was outside of the wetland complex that was there prior to the development. So this site is dry. There are no wetlands on this site. They are maintaining the required wetland buffers from the wetland areas, and they're going to be incorporating those with a mowed grass path to make it kind of a passive recreational area.
And it takes into counting flooding and...
Yes. All the stormwater detention for this site will be managed in the existing pond, and then they're also proposing a small stormwater pond at the south corner.
All right. Any questions to my right or comments? Trustee O'Brien.
I see it's going to have sidewalks aligned. So when done, will there be a sidewalk that'll go all the way from, say, Woodland Intermediate along Cemetery Road all the way to Grand Avenue?
There will be a little bit of a gap from basically the point here around underneath the ComEd lines to the Woodland Intermediate School. That's something that we can tackle in the next year or so once this project gets going. Crossing ComEd is typically a difficult process, so it will take a little bit of lead time to get into that permitting. Typically, the cost of the permit far exceeds the cost of actual building the sidewalk.
Thanks, Dave.
Trustee Ross.
In our packet, there wasn't a picture of what it's going to look like. I know you had one up there. Do you have any ones that are closer up?
Yes. I'll do okay. Clubhouse, some of the interior of the clubhouse space. So there's kind of a street view from Tri-State Parkway, and then you can see some of the garage spaces. I just want to remind you, though, that since it is a straight zoning multifamily development, they are not required to do this. This is what their proposal is. You know, we are granting the zoning for the density and the land use. But this is what their proposal is.
Thank you.
Trustee Thurston.
I missed that, David. They're not required to do what?
That the building doesn't necessarily have to look like this. So we are committing to the multifamily residential zoning district. We are committing to the 20-foot reduced setback, but the colors and the architectural styles are not committed to as part of just a straight rezoning.
It's nice.
It is very nice.
Yeah, I guess it bothers me what Trustee O'Brien said, that it gives us a gap on the sidewalk. And if it's only a year, that's great, but I've seen lots of gaps last a lot longer. And I also would wish ComEd would like waive that fee, being that, I'm going to throw it in the record, right? Because we pay them utility rates, all of us, so it really would be very nice if we could get that sooner.
We'll jump on that one.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other questions, roll call, please.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Very pleased to welcome you to Gurnee, so thank you. So we have to do the variation.
Yep. Next item.
So approval of ordinance 2025,
69.
granting a variation from the front yard setback requirement pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for 1500 Tri-State Parkway, PIN 0716100147. Again, just motion on that one, please.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien,
Second.
second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Motion carries. Welcome again. On to item 4, approval of ordinance 2025.
70.
Granting a zoning text amendment pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for modifications to accessory structure regulations.
Sure. So I'll give a summary here, and then David will get into the details. So last May, we passed a moratorium on the construction of accessory structures that exceed more than 600 square feet within residentially zoned district. I remember we had some pretty large garages that popped up around town and had some concerns from the neighbors. The way the zoning ordinance is currently written, it doesn't limit the maximum size of an accessory structure to not exceed the footprint of the principal structure. So we put the moratorium in place to give staff some time to look at how other communities address this, extended it a couple times. In July, staff went in front of the Planning and Zoning Board to discuss the issue. And from that discussion, some proposed changes related to accessory structures, height, quantity, footprint, and use came out of that. So Dave is going to walk through those 4 categories as far as the recommended changes and how that addresses the large accessory structures.
Thank you, Pat. Basically, we are amending 2 sections of the zoning code. First, definitions and rules of measurement, and then the second one, accessory structures and uses. So as Pat mentioned, we're modifying 4 aspects of the zoning code that regulate the bulk of accessory structures on residential lots. The first of which will be height. So right now, the height of an accessory structure, think garage, shed, et cetera, is limited to 20 feet or the mid-peak of the principal structure of the principal structure on the site, so the home. So the way we measure height in single-family residential homes is we typically measure it to the mid-peak of the roof line. So by changing the definition of as to how we measure the height of accessory structures to the peak, we're automatically lowering and shrinking the accessory structure size. Like Pat said, we had a couple of them this summer, or last couple years that have popped up, and we're pushing the envelope of what would be acceptable on a single-family residential site. So the first change in regulating that bulk is the height, pulling down the accessory structure height. You're no longer are we going to be measuring apples to apples. Now we're going to be measuring apples to oranges. That mid-peak of the house, peak of the accessory structure, as is indicated on the drawing here. The second one is quantity. So the Planning and Zoning Board recommended no more than 3 accessory structures in any residential yard. We did exempt fences. Fences are defined in our zoning code as an accessory structure. So are things like air conditioner units, generators, things like that. So we did an exemption for anything less than 25 square feet is not counted towards the maximum number of 3. So 3 quote-unquote larger structures that are going to be adding to the bulk. So we're including detached garages, sheds, gazebos, above ground and in-ground pools, hot tubs that are over the 25 square feet. So no more than 3 of these accessory structures in the yard. The third one is footprint. So as Pat mentioned, prior to this amendment, you are allowed to have the cumulative footprint of all of your accessory structures could be no larger than the footprint of your home. So if you have a 2,000 square foot home, you would be allowed to have 500, 1,500 accessory structures, which is a significant amount of bulk. So we pulled that back to 75% of the footprint of the house, hoping that that will help limit that bulk. And in addition to that, we have it's a 50% of any given yard. So any way the zoning ordinance defines yards, rear yards, side yards, corner side yards. So it's the current regulation is 50% of the yard. We're pulling that down to 40%. That one usually doesn't come into play when we're doing the calculations. So pulling that one back a little bit should give us a little more regulation on that bulk. And then the final aspect of the amendment is the use. We already prohibit in accessory structures, bedrooms, kitchens, and full bathrooms. We are also now proposing to now eliminate permanent stairways up to the attic space. That would make it extremely difficult for a conversion of this kind of under the radar into another dwelling unit. So eliminating those permanent stairs in addition to the bathrooms, bedrooms, and kitchens, just as another element to kind of regulate that while the building structure is going up. So those are the 4 major proposals to amend the zoning code in an attempt to further regulate and pull back some of those accessory structure regulations.
Thanks, Steve. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion by trustee, oh my, Greg, when did you get here? Second by trustee Balmas. Discussion or questions? None? Roll call, please.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Torstenson.
Yes.
Ross.
Aye.
5-0.
Motion carries. On to public comments. The public comment at the end of the meeting is meant to be for any item that a person chooses to talk about in the realms of reasonableness, and if you would like to do that. There being none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Garner. Yes. Motion carries. All in favor, say aye.
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 Threw me off, Greg.